Wow.
Okay, welcome back to Factually Opinionated. I'm Professor Cinema. Once again with me is Mr. Slipcover himself, Bullet Blake. Welcome back. Today's topic is why The Batman is really only a mediocre movie. So, Bullet, why don't you just go ahead and harp on this movie that we really don't hate, but we don't feel it deserves the praise it gets.
All right. I really did not hate this movie. I don't think it's as good as everyone makes it out to be. Like, this movie is like there's people constantly saying this is the best Batman movie. This is so great. Oh, it's one of the best movies of the year. It's not. It is not that. It is an okay movie. It's an all right noir film, I guess you could say. As far as Batman goes, I didn't mind Robert Pattinson as Batman. I really just he did his stuff just fine and he was all right, but I otherwise they biffed it. Like, the Riddler was ass trash garbage. I don't know.
Paul Dano as the Riddler was terrible. And that's one of the things that you and I agree on completely. We don't understand why he receives so much praise for this role.
He's awful.
He's
terrible. Like, abysmal. Like, he was so bad. He honestly makes it so I don't care to revisit this movie. Without him, if they would have chose someone else, let's get some other of the fucking villains in these Batman movies instead of just retweaking the same old villains like he did, where he just copied Heath Ledger to a T almost. And it just
it wasn't even that. Like, okay, so his Riddler portrayal is not Riddler. It is more like, if anybody's read the comics, it's more like the character Anarchy, who is in a lot of ways somewhat similar to Riddler because he loves leaving clues behind at his crimes. But Anarchy isn't an intelligent character. He just does things to do things, most like. And within this film, the Riddler character is not intelligent. He is not a smart guy. He is just a mentally broken emo douche flute. that his big goal, his big climax of the movie is a violent flash mob.
Yeah, what a waste. What a total, like, terrible choice to make the pivotal moment of this storyline. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? Bro.
It was, and meanwhile, our hate of that character in this movie is completely outside of the fact that we wanted more Penguin. Colin Farrell was so good.
He stole the movie as far as I'm concerned. He is the best part of the movie. He's very underutilized in the movie.
Oh, for sure.
And they should have capitalized on that. They should have just made him the focus, completely cut out that Riddler bullshit, because I did not want any of that. I think he's the worst Riddler ever. I mean, there's only so many, but Jim Carrey's Riddler definitely trumps this fucking
and even
version.
Frank Gorshin from the 60s Batman show. I'm way into him more than I am Paul Dano.
I would love for, like, the 60s era of fucking Batman characters to come out into a fucking live action movie now with the special effects we have now. I think that would be awesome. But as it sits, this was the most mid-tier fucking Batman movie ever, and it's just lauded as this fucking masterpiece. And it's not that. It's not good.
It really isn't. And here's the thing that I give to it. It is a decent to above average noir film. Because as a noir film, this movie really hits hard. And it's interesting. I enjoy the noir plot. But then you've also got to try and remember that it's a Batman film. And the Batman part is where this film falls short. Pattinson does fine. I didn't have an issue with Pattinson. I
I
would have
was
liked.
excited. I was looking forward to this movie the whole time they were building it up. When they had leaked photos, I was into it. I was totally on board with him being Batman. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He really is. If you actually watch his shit outside of Twilight that everyone seems to hate him for, but he's done some phenomenal films since then. So his
He
casting
really has.
didn't bother me at all.
And I mean, you were sold on the film once they showed the Batmobile.
Oh, bro, the Batmobile, even the Batmobile scene, like the entrance to the Batmobile when it first comes on camera, I was like, oh, finally we're getting something. This is something that I've been wanting to see. I wanted to see this movie, but I was just so let down. It just didn't hook me and pull me, and Riddler really kicked me out of this film. I
He
didn't
really
like
did.
him.
And for some reason, I don't know why they made Gordon completely superfluous. Like, he didn't actually need to be there at all. He pushed no plot forward.
Yeah, he's a worthless character. A worthless character in this universe, basically. Like, he does nothing to contribute or take away.
He's just there watching, so to speak.
So
Whereas in some of the past films, like Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, he did things in the movies. He was a part of things that were happening. In the old Batman films, Commissioner Gordon was sort of just a throwaway character, I guess. So I guess I should point that flaw at those movies as well, because that is a flaw. Although the first Batman movie, he did things. He was there in the Ace Chemicals and all that. But after that, his character was just sort of shoved to the side. But, I mean, even J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon, had more plot to push than this guy. I mean, it was, and J.K. Simmons was only on screen for what, like 5 minutes?
yeah, like no time at all. But man, there's just so much. Like, I'm gonna talk myself into hating this movie at some point right now, because it's like there's more that I disliked about this. Primarily the Riddler. I think the Riddler being the focal villain was catastrophic to the story, as I mean, like, as much as it can be. It just, if you want to recycle old villains, like you said, anarchy wouldn't work, because the general public who don't watch or don't read comics would not know that. So there'd be no buffering to their fucking film with a character like Anarchy. He'd have to be a secondary character and be introduced and all that. And I get that they didn't want to do that. I get that they wanted to create their own standalone Batman universe, I guess, because this isn't part of the DCEU, which props to them for not doing that. I still miss, if we could have gotten the fucking Ben Affleck Batman solo, I would have been into that. And I think the DCEU just started getting good once they did the Snyder cut. I think they finally were like, okay, now they can do something with this. I know they're never going to, and I know James Gunn is in there now, and they're fucking up everything. So that's unfortunate as it gets, because I think the DCEU trumps the MCU at this point, because I'm just so sick of those fucking movies. But this being a standalone movie is fine. I think if they went back to doing all comic book movies like that, instead of trying to create this shared cinematic universe like the MCU did really well at first, and now it's just so vast.
Well, you and I pretty much agree that for the most part, the MCU is kind of dead on arrival for most things. But that's a video for another time.
Yeah, straight up.
But it would be nice if we could get solo films that didn't have to totally tie into a universe. Like, you could have them tie into the universe, but not to where you have to watch every single film release to get everything that's going on. Yeah, it'd be nice to go back to that.
I don't want to need to have to watch this movie to get this movie. I don't want to have to do this to watch that. There's too many fucking movies. I wish we would have got Tim Burton's third movie, so we would just have a solid trilogy of those original Batman movies Even though I love Batman Forever, don't get me wrong, I love it. It's a childhood staple of mine. Batman and Robin, obviously that was the cliff that they drove off and killed the franchise back then. But when they came back and did the Nolan films, that's a standalone series, and it works that way. It works.
It really did.
Good.
At the same time Nolan brought out Batman Begins, we also got Superman Returns, which I'm part of a minority that think it was a decent movie.
A very, very small minority.
A very, very small minority. But I'm also one of those weirdos that enjoyed the Green Lantern movie, so we'll just move on right there. Hot topic right there, yeah.
You're nullifying your opinions, man.
But the fact that they can't, DC and Warner Brothers can't figure out what they really want to do. Like they strove so hard to try and copy the MCU, and then they're like, no, we can't do that. And then they switch gears, and they're like, no, we can't do that now. And then they're switching gears again, and like, no, we can't do that now.
They rush it every time. When they did the Batman v Superman movie, we shouldn't have gotten that first. We should have got a Batman movie first, and then tied all three characters together. We shouldn't have started with that and been like, well, bam, because they tried jumping the gun. They tried making it too big before it was even established. That's where they fall short, and that's where this movie could have blossomed, because this movie could have been the start of some awesome Nolan-esque trilogy that people love.
Yeah, it would have been really dark and really gritty, and it'd have been like, if you just, honestly, for me, if we just throw out the Riddler, just remove that character altogether and the plot that goes with that character, and have a more developed Penguin, I think that would have been a fantastic movie, and I wouldn't have had to sit there for 3 hours.
I mean, you ain't lying. The Riddler was so fucking bad in this movie. And Penguin, I'm a Colin Farrell fanatic. Everything he does is great. The Banshees of Inisherin that just came out, that was a spectacular performance from him. And he never goes half-ass on these movies. So his performance, stellar. Paul Dano, I mean, the Riddler just wasn't good, man. It wasn't good. I hated it.
And I wanted more Andy Serkis as Alfred. I wanted more of that.
Yeah, we didn't get shit for that. And I think that could have had its own like real scene stealing segment somewhere in this movie, and we didn't get that at all either. But we kept waiting for it. We kept waiting.
Like at most of the better Batman movies have moments between Bruce, which is another part of this movie that I don't like. There is really no Bruce Wayne.
He's just Batman all the time, man.
Yeah. Between Bruce and Alfred, there's usually these little scenes that really shows the relationship between those two characters. We never really got that in this movie.
Fuck no, we didn't. We didn't get that even once. They're barely on screen together.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a decent noir film. It's a terrible Batman film.
If you just take Batman out of the equation, if you take Batman and the rogue villains and all that all gone and just make this its own crime movie, it'd be a brilliant movie.
Oh,
it would have been so good.
If you had Pattinson just play like a Cagney style character, like from the 30s and 40s, as a noir film, it would have been fantastic. I would have loved it. The cinematography was gorgeous. The color palette that he was working with was fantastic. I mean, I loved what I saw. It was a beautiful movie in a lot of ways.
It was, and it was dark, and we want dark. That's why that's where DC really trumps the MCU. Like, Marvel movies are always so kid friendly, I want to say.
And that's the way they've turned, especially with like most of the recent films, like Thor: Love and Thunder. They've turned it almost too childish.
Yeah, too corny almost.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder was a prime example of corny.
Yeah.
But then you get movies like Black Adam that I actually really enjoyed from DC.
Right. But then you look back at some of the earlier films in the MCU, like Iron Man and Captain America and the first Thor and Thor 2, they had darker tones that they explored, and they had better character development.
Yeah, instead of this trying to appeal to the let's be honest, comic books are not for 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. Like they're geared mostly towards preteens and teenagers.
Right.
So that's the audience we should be focusing on. I mean, Thor Love and Thunder, you could almost rate that PG, man.
Oof. I mean, I'd rate it don't watch, but
yeah, the MCU is just falling off the wagon, but this back to the topic at hand with the Batman, calling it the Batman just says that this should be a pivotal Batman movie. This should be a standout, stellar, fucking one of a kind, epic. I just wanted this movie. Maybe my expectations were too high. I always say that. I always say I expected this movie to be good, but unlike a lot of people, because this movie isn't, people don't criticize this movie enough. A lot of people go into it expecting to like it, so then they automatically like force themselves to like it.
Yeah, that's like going back to your abusive spouse just because you still love them. It'll be fine. Oh, I know he hits me. It'll be okay.
It just doesn't make sense. I went into this movie expecting to like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I went in with different expectations. I wasn't expecting that too terrible much, and even I was still disappointed. Like I was expecting a mid-tier movie, and I was still sort of like, I mean,
yeah, it's almost terrible, barely mid-tier. And then you got that scene that leaked with the Joker too, and it was like, this is not what I want my Joker to be. This is not anything I want. I do. Someone cut that shit and cancel it right now because I'm not interested in that. I
forgot about that until you brought it up. Thanks.
I'm so not interested in that.
I had successfully deleted that, and you had to ruin that deletion. I hate you for that.
You know that's where they're gonna go because for some reason every Batman movie has to like make their pivotal villain Joker. Where the fuck is Clayface, man? I want him. We have the technology.
We have the technology.
We can build
to
him.
Clayface now.
Like, come on. If they can do King Shark in the Suicide Squad movie, they can do Clayface in a movie where he's a valid, entertaining, realistic villain.
Oh yeah, and not only that, but we at this point we are in the stage of filmmaking and special effects where we could do a non-punful Mr. Freeze without
I would like to get
Schwarzenegger.
a screen accurate Mr. Freeze where he's
I would love to do that.
Skinny professor-looking dude.
And give me Mr. Freeze like he was in the animated series.
Yes, exactly. That's what I want to see. Like Schwarzenegger, come on. I mean, we all know that's the worst Batman movie, but I get what they were trying to do, banking the bankable Schwarzenegger, whatever. Terrible. It was a terrible, terrible movie. This movie isn't that bad. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm going to say it's average. It's just a mediocre movie.
It's just average. But we're at the point now where we could also do characters like Man-Bat.
We can do almost any character from the animated series, and there's a plethora to choose from.
Oh yeah, we could get some Clock King going. We could do a like Arkham. What was it? Was it Arkham City that really pushed Calendar Man?
Yeah, which that'd be cool. Then that'd work. People would really gravitate to that villain.
Yeah, I'd love to see a darker take on Calendar Man, like the Arkham games did, and I think people would gravitate towards that. Or even oh dear God, give me a comic accurate Two-Face. Just once. Just fucking once give me a comic accurate Two-Face.
Hey, I'm not gonna bag on Tommy Lee Jones because, like I said, I like Batman Forever, and I think Val Kilmer was great in that movie. But I would have been really excited to see Tim Burton's version of Two-Face that he had planned for the third one.
Oh yeah.
I think if we could have gotten that would have been just perfect. A perfect conclusion to a trilogy in bringing back Jack Nicholson and the Scarecrow. I think he had it right, but we know what Joel Schumacher did, and it is what it is. So
I mean, the studio successfully screwed that up again. So Warner Brothers has been screwing up Batman movies
They were too focused on toys, and toys are
Yeah.
no longer they shouldn't be a thing that these businesses should market, because they can be, but they don't have to be these kitty toys, because only adults buy toys anymore.
That's
It's
like
the adult collectors that buy
Star Wars.
these action figures.
Star Wars can't sell their toys right now.
Yeah, kids don't play with toys anymore, man.
Yeah, they're too busy with their tablets and their phones and
That's fucking
video
facts. We give a 6-year-old a cell phone, and that's all they want for the rest of forever.
Yeah. But anyway, now that we've ragged on this movie enough, which we don't actually hate.
We don't like this video is we're gonna play this back and be like, wow, we really shit on that. But it does have its moments. Like, it does have the Penguin, it does have the Batmobile. I don't hate Catwoman in this movie.
No, I don't think she has the chemistry with. I don't think she and Pattinson have the chemistry. Like, there's chemistry there, but it's not like the chemistry that they're trying to show is there.
Yeah, it's not the fucking Michael Keaton and
Michelle
Pfeiffer chemistry that you could just feel oozing off the film.
Know, that was like lightning from the screen with those two, man.
Like, it doesn't have that, and that's fine, because again, she wasn't the primary baddie in this. It was all about Riddler, and that's what really deters this movie from being a top-notch Batman movie.
But now is the time for where I normally say don't watch this movie, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say go ahead, watch it, have fun with it, or try and have fun with it.
There's going to be sequels, so check it out.
Yeah, I think HBO Max is doing a Penguin series also.
Which, fuck yes, give me that. I want that.
I'll watch that. I'll watch every episode of that. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe and like it. Click the like button. Go ahead and go over to Bullet's channel. Check out what he's doing there. He does a lot of unboxing videos, fun stuff. And come back again. We'd love to have you listen to us rant about movies more.
Yeah, every Friday. Check us out.
See you later.
Wow.